Alrighty, welcome everybody. It's Friday, last day of January, January 31st, 2025. We've made it through 1/12 of the year so far. Quick month. Man, did that fly by? Good month overall. So really good stuff here. I don't have a specific agenda. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. If you have some questions, you want to pop them in chat, things you want to cover, we can. What I'm going to do is, because I have to, I'm going to go through some of my accounts and clean some stuff up because I got expiring covered calls. I got to add new covered calls. I've got things to close. We've also got some volatility hedges uh, that are closing, but I'm going to make some notes on those uh, in the plan. So I can't wait till Monday to have. I'm actually excited to have some of these old volatility original hedges coming off. Not great to have your hedges coming off, but it's going to be so much cleaner and a lot less stuff for me to deal with. So I kind of like that. Um, and gold, yeah, we can talk about gold today as well. So it's been a good thing here this month, and I really like the way we're set up. I've got plenty of buying power. I'm waiting to see if the market drops and we can get into some more things. But until then, I mean, we still just keep making money on this. So let's go ahead and share. You don't need me on here. In fact, let me change the view for me so that I can see a little bit better what's going on. Anyway, all right, let's rock and roll on this, and let me share my screen. We don't really need to go through charts too much, so I'm going to really spend very little time on this today, unless there's something you guys want to look at, which of course I will absolutely do. Hopefully you can see the screen here. ES having another good day. We've had, a pretty good week overall. I mean, Monday was, kind of that big down day, big reversal. And since then, we've been cranking back up to here. We're not quite at new highs, which we set last week, but we're doggone close. So very close to new highs in ES. Things look pretty bullish overall. Uh, Getting a little overextended on the weekly. We're getting very top to the top of the close to the top of the Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart. Uh, and you're getting close to an overbought level on RSI, but we're not quite there yet. So I think we still have some more upside to go. And even on the daily chart, I think there's just more upside potentially to go. Now, earnings are next week for a couple more of these companies. So we're uh, really going to get some new earnings, but earnings have been pretty good overall. Weren't great for Tesla, but did anybody care? No, Tesla just rocketed up 19 more points today on crappy earnings. So that thing just goes up no matter what here. But S&P doing great. I called out gold. So oil, it's doing its thing that we said it was doing, which was dropping here. I like gold um, dipping here. I'm not super bullish gold. There's no, or I mean oil. I'm sorry. There's just no reason to be bullish oil, in my opinion, because I don't know what news or events or anything out there is actually potentially even bullish. The only thing would be another blow up in the Middle East or something crazy happens somewhere. But it's going to have to be an event that really turns gold or oil around, because right now you've got drill baby drill, you've got lots of potential production of oil. You don't have a great deal of demand across the world, with the exception of the United States. The rest of the world sucks right now. So Europe sucks. They're not in a good shape. They are not. I don't know that a recessioning, but they're not in a great shape. China's not really doing great. They're trying to stimulate their economy, and while that may work a little bit, they need to do a lot more. So there's not a lot of places out there that are really in great shape except the United States, and of course that's good and bad. So it's great that the U.S. is in the position that they're in, or that we are in, I should say, but that could mean that there's inflation on the horizon potentially if the U.S. continues at this tepid pace that we're at. So we're a little toasty here, but it's still okay. Uh, I think it's a good thing. So anyway, oil, nothing to do here. We've got we'll go through our accounts, but we've got good trades on oil, and I've got naked calls on oil. Those things are printing. So I'm up 70%, I think, on my naked calls in oil. I have uh, you know, no problems with oil right now. I think it's at a great spot right now for continued strangles. David, yeah, put in oil for a strangle. I think so. I think it's a great place for a strangle in oil right now, especially as we pulled back, because I still think we can go further down. The weekly suggests there's a lot of, if you're looking at the weekly chart here, the weekly suggests there's a decent amount of downside to go in oil. This thing could be heading towards the mid 60s for sure in there. And on the daily, you're breaking support levels. We're right at this 618 fib here. If this doesn't really hold, then there's potentially some more downside to go. But we're getting a little bit overdone, but there still could be some more downside. So I think if you strangle it, you're getting decent premium because uh, we're dropping, even though the IV rank in oil is not fantastic at all. I'd love to see a little more volatility, but volatility in oil is dead, despite the fact that it has been dropping for 2 weeks straight. But I like the strangles here because I don't really see oil going way to the upside here. So there's a lot of opportunities here. You may even look at like a reverse jade lizard to protect yourself on the downside of oil, but yet still get that strangle opportunity on there. And but that big reversal uh, or here off of oil from that inverted hammer 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, certainly has knocked things down quite a bit. All right. Let's see, gold. So I talked about gold. Gold was hitting a new all-time high today. Of course, as soon as I said that, it pulled back. Now, people were asking what kind of trades would you do in gold? Well, I think if you're looking at it, you certainly want to protect yourself from this thing like reversing hard because it doesn't make sense to get super bullish at the top of the Bollinger Band 3 ATR, past the Bollinger Bands here in overbought levels, even though it still seems very strong. I still think gold goes up. I still think 3,000 is probably in our future. I don't know how soon we're getting there. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be a month or two. But I think we're heading towards the 3,000 level, maybe sooner than later. But I would want to also protect, you don't want to get long on something that's this overbought. But so I don't think uh, like a put credit spread or naked puts would make a whole lot of sense in gold here. But I do think things like that, what we've been doing is we've been just popping these jade lizards on, which means you have no risk to the upside. Okay. But yet you're still giving yourself a nice little trap if we pull back. So it's like a 1-1-2 trade um, in gold. So I think jade lizards here in gold are really, really great trades. So I'm going to continue doing that. We just took one out for a winner. We get another one here at 44% winner cooking so far. I think it's a great trade to keep going on oil because you have no risk to the upside. Okay. And you're protecting yourself a bit on the downside pullback. Kind of like a 1-1-2 trade, just 1-1-2s just don't set up well on gold. All right. Quickly looking at bonds. Bonds are just doing their thing, which is exactly what I think you expect bonds to do here, which is not a whole lot of anything. Obviously, the Fed is not cutting, at least not yet. They may in a couple more meetings. Inflation, it's not running rampant, but it's not going away. Unemployment, it's kind of just staying the same. So you would think that bonds are just going to meander around here. They've had a good recovery for the last 3 weeks. And now, it's still in an uptrend. So every day up, you get 2 steps forward and then maybe 1 step back right now, which is totally fine. And I think I'm not going to claim that the bottom's in. I wouldn't be surprised if we drop a little bit here, but the weekly chart looks fantastic. Okay, this weekly chart looks fantastic here. You're coming from oversold territories, MACD rising, RSI's rising, stochastic momentum's reversing and rising. So the weekly looks really good for somewhat of a bottom. The daily, yeah, we've had that nice move. Okay, I still think there's some more upside. There's some resistance ahead. If we bump into some of that resistance, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some sort of another pullback. But I'm not going to claim the lows are in because I'm not jinxing myself here. But I do like bond futures. But we'll have to make some decisions on our TLT plays here in the next couple of weeks, unless bonds really rip. And I just don't see bonds ripping to the upside. I just don't see a need or a reason for bonds uh, to really rip to the upside yet. All right, there's where we are. Somebody asked about copper earlier. I still think it's a really good strangle opportunity in here. Uh, it's just sideways trending. It's not. I would just trade the strangle and be happy with it. Silver breaking out of the trend. It's kind of like gold right now. I would trade it the exact same way I would trade gold. The Nasdaq is doing very well. Nice breakout of the channel, came back down, tested that channel, and now bouncing off. I think this thing has more upside to go. So I like it. Would I strangle bonds here is the question. Um, yeah, I think so. I mean, I've already got two strangles on bonds, so obviously I like strangling bonds because I have two working right now. One's at 48%. I just couldn't get it off today with a little bit of a pullback, and then one of them's at 8% in 9 days. So I've got two strangles. So I put one on last week. I would not be opposed to putting on strangles in here. I think they set up pretty well here because I think you can still pull back a bit, but I don't know if maybe we even retest this low and double bottom and then we'd really take off. I think that could potentially be the play. So I think from the longer term perspective, we watch for the double bottom to really get long. But in the meantime, I think you can strangle to this downside. I think even if it meanders higher, it's not going a lot higher. So I think strangle is a great play on it. Potentially a jade lizard's not a bad thing. It protects you to the upside a bit. I think a strangle's a better play, but I don't mind it. I like the reverse jade lizard because it limits my downside right here. I'm still more wary of downside on bonds than I am of bonds just rocketing higher here. So I'm still cautious on bonds, but I love what it's doing. You could Jade Lizard it. I just wouldn't. I would probably be more open to a strangle or a reverse Jade Lizard because the downside makes me more nervous than the upside on these. All right, and then the Russell. Let's just do two quick ones, and I want to get into trades because we got a lot of stuff to do here today. Russell breaking out of this range, broke out of the downtrend channel, came back down, tested the top of this range 2 days ago, and then now it's off to the races. This could be the time potentially for the Russell. I think this is set up really nicely for put credit spreads, naked puts, things like that in here. Uh, I really think the Russell is a nice setup for trades right here, especially when you're looking at this weekly bouncing off this trend line, breaking out of the channel that it was in, touching base on every single one of your major moving averages are all together. We're bouncing off of all of them, moving higher. I like it. Doesn't mean it can't go lower, what have you, but I think it's a good trade. Craig, yeah, been doing 120-day 6 delta naked puts on an NQ. I think that's not a bad play. Okay, so I think it's a good play in here because I'm pretty bullish on the Qs overall. And you get some pretty good distance away, but this thing can travel fast because it's got a 300-point move today. So the Nasdaq does move in gigantic chunks. So you just got to be aware of that. But we do also have that ATM 111 on, and that thing is up 33% in 3 days so far. So loving that trade. Absolutely loving it. All right, and then if anybody cares on the Aussie dollar, this thing just can't figure out what it wants to be. But I think if you look at the weekly, you're probably starting to break out of this downtrend that you've been in for some time here. And then, of course, if we're looking at the daily chart, I don't know which one of these. I just erased my own line. Okay, so let's add that line back in. I don't know why there was two. Boom. Make sure it touches at least three different points. And there we go. So nice breakout of the downtrend. Okay. And now you had this pull back, and now maybe this little bit move higher. The weekly looks good for an entry here on 6A. It's just that the fees and commissions might kill you on your account. But I think it's all good here if you want to play the Aussie dollar. I'm not ready for Strangles yet, but it's probably getting close. Maybe another week or two, and I think you get. I'd like to see a little bit more upside before I put a strangle on, but I don't think it's a bad trade here. I'd be a little bit more afraid of big moves to the upside. All right, cool. So that's enough on some of those. And then if we look, Apple had a monstrous move up today and then gave all of it back today. So huge up move, gave it all back. I still don't like Apple. It's probably my least favorite of the Mag 7 right now. I just don't like this company anymore. So I'm really not in it. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. It's just not my favorite. It's pulled back significantly and bounced, which is not a bad was not a bad entry point here to get long. And certainly if you did, you ran from 220 all the way to 240 something today. So you could have swung trade this pretty nicely. It's just not my style. And I just don't like it on the long-term perspective, at least not yet. Let's just see what happens with Apple. I don't hear anything from Apple on AI. And if I don't hear anything, I don't know what the heck they're doing on AI. Um, so why don't I like Apple? Because I don't hear anything on AI. I just don't know how Apple's going to participate in this whole AI growth phase. I don't know what they offer that is really going to be unique. Okay, to me, they offer a phone and a laptop, and that's about it. Okay. Yeah, AI is on the new iPhone. Great. How are you using it on that new iPhone Pro? I mean, is it even helpful? I mean, can you not just use Chat GPT on it? I use Chat GPT on my iPhone. Do I need Apple's AI? I'd like to see it do something cooler here and be really unique uh, as opposed to, I mean, I've been able to ask Siri pretty much anything I've ever wanted to. So why is that different than Apple AI? I really don't know. Maybe I don't understand it well enough, but I just don't like it. I don't think they're innovating at all. Microsoft not having a good day after earnings. So they got blasted yesterday. They're in the 3-day gap down rule. Anyway, I don't know what these guys are doing. I can't tell what Satya Nadella or whatever it is. I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to buy TikTok. He was trying to buy OpenAI today. He's trying to buy everything but Microsoft. I wish the guy would just focus on Microsoft because the stock has done nothing in a year. So I don't know what he's doing. It seems like he's interested in everything but Microsoft. Um, I don't know. I don't like them. I don't think they're leading in anything right now. So again, not my favorites. I'm just giving you opinions, and you know what those are worth. Uh, news is noise. Opinions are the reason that news is noise. So my opinions, I'm sure, are just noise to you. But Amazon, I do like Amazon. Why? Because they are the Death Star of companies. They own everything. They're in everything. I just think they kill it all. Okay, great delivery, great products, fast, grocery, pharmaceuticals, pharmacy, whatever. They can do it all, and I think there's no reason not to be bullish on Amazon. Yeah, Apple was going to get into cars. Remember that, and see how that failed. So we'll see what happens with Amazon, but. I just love the company. I just think it's one of my favorites. It's just very extended here. There's not a lot of trades. Meta, fantastic move up. Not one of my favorites here, but they're going to benefit. Their AI is really, really good. It's what DeepSeek is roughly based on, a lot of their Llama code. So I think the investment Meta has in AI is paying off for them. So I do like the company, but here it just seems a little ridiculous on the move. But probably heading to 1,000 at some point. All right, Google, love Google. I was touting it to everybody. It's just taking off. I love it. I've got plenty of Google. It has been my favorite. Now I just sit and wait for this thing to calm down. But I like Google and Nvidia. So the 3-day rule, we gap down. The next day we bounced up, but you don't get right back in because why? Because you might reverse back down, which is what we did for 2 more days, kind of 3 days. So this is why you just don't jump in right away because technically we've done almost nothing now for 5 days. But I do like the base it's building right along the 200-day moving average. Uh, I like the fact that we've probably shaken out a decent number of people. I think this is an unbelievably great company, and I would not be surprised to see this thing fill the gap in the next 30 days. So I'm pretty bullish on NVIDIA overall. And even in the lazy trader account, I've got naked puts and I've got jade lizards in there. But I'd actually like to add maybe uh, another long trade in there here. I really like it. I like the fact that we're trying to hold on to this uptrend line for the most part. We bounced off the 50-day moving average on the weekly. I like it. So I think NVIDIA is totally fine. I am not worried about any chip uh, issues, and I'm going to guess that they're going to have probably some fantastic earnings. And I really want to hear what they have to say next month on uh, the whole DeepSeek thing when the gag is lifted. On these guys can talk. And then let's just go through Tesla. I like Tesla here. I love the pullback. I think it's a great opportunity. I actually bought long calls. Yes, the premium seller bought long calls. I got long in it yesterday. Uh, those are up. I like Tesla here. I think this is a great opportunity if you're looking at this weekly chart, nearly oversold and starting to move higher. I think this thing can really continue to move. So I think we could be heading at least to the 450, 460 range or so, and maybe new highs. Probably by the end of the year, I would guess new highs. So this might be the opportunity for looking at the weekly. We came back down to this 38.2 fib, and we've just held it for 5 weeks. Uh, so I kind of like where it is here. I think it looks pretty decent. And I love the fact that it's pulled back and it's just consolidating in here. Um, if we took a trend line, we're sitting right on it today. So there's uh, that trend line. We'll see if that breaks. If not, then potentially you're seeing a bit of a descending triangle type of pattern here. Not perfect. I don't know if there's a perfect way to place it so it catches as many um, as possible, but it's a bit of a descending triangle. So if we do break this 381, then pretty thin structure all the way down to probably 350 or so till we find some structure there. But even that's pretty thin down to the 260 uh, area overall. I'm not saying it's going there, but this double bottom potential move that we have, I also want to keep an eye on this level. And hopefully this is helpful to you guys or even interesting, and maybe you don't care. Uh, but we're in this range, but I think this is the neckline here of this move, that if we can get back above this, I think this thing moves higher. This then would flip from resistance to support. So this is my kind of line in the sand. If we can break this 429, 430 mark, I think Tesla does move higher, and this becomes a pretty good support candidate. All right, so there we go. You want an AMD update? Okay, and I popped something in about Palantir. Man, do I want to get into this trade. Uh, I think it's going to have phenomenal earnings on Monday. I think these guys are the recipient of all of this uh, AI improvements on the software side. It's breaking this essentially a bit of a, I was starting to try to draw somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern. I don't know that this right shoulder is exactly perfect, but this was the neckline right at 80, which it seemed to have broken today, and now it's off to the races. I said it would probably go to 90. I wanted to get in today on a trade. I think earnings will be good. on this thing, and I was still even looking at selling like a 60 naked put. So even if it fell down here, I'd probably take assignment at 60 anyway on this thing. It's overdone. It's been overdone. It's been overdone for months, but it continues to crank higher and way ahead of itself. All right, there's enough. I think that was a lot of charting to do today. Oh, AMD, last one. Okay. Um, I just liked it down here. I thought this was a good potential support area that we have on this thing. Weekly, it's oversold. MACD is starting to reverse. Stochastic momentum is starting to move its way up. RSI is close to oversold. I think it's just a bit of a lower risk style play. Earnings are coming up. We're going to see earnings are on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. I mean, if they really stink up the joint, then it could have some more downside to go. However, I've got covered calls on this thing, and I'm okay just playing the covered call game and getting in at this price. Okay. Um, so there we go. Let's get into the accounts and make some moves and clean some things up. All right, let's get in here today. So the main income navigator account, and we're up what, $1,200 or something today. Nothing to do here in oil land. We got a 112 that's up 76%. We got an at the money trade that's up 100% now. Okay, 100% now on this thing in 9 days, and I think we can get more. So I'm looking for this thing to really start to potentially pay off. This is a $5,000 potential trap. It's a half a point wide on the puts here. So half a point wide times 1,000 multiplier, okay, is 500 times 10 contracts. So um, it's a $5,000 potential trap at maturity. We're at $500. So I'm going to let this thing go and percolate. We got the naked calls on. They're up 60%. It's fine. And then we got a strangle here that's doing fine, 22% up. So nothing to do in oil. All right, ES, we got a vol hedge coming off today. So I've already made a little bit of this adjustment, but we've got one vol hedge coming off today. We got the two flies from the regenerated fly vol hedge, and then we have another piece from the fly hedge that's coming off today. So there's going to be three hedges expiring today, which is fine because we want, these are the longs, and that's totally fine. They'll take a little protection away from us. Okay, this is 40 contracts. It's a good amount, but we've been adding more, and we're already in the roll space. So this is fine. We're going to take some negative P&L hits today when these come off. So we're going to probably take about a $12,000 hit on the realized, but it's already baked into the amount, the account, and the account is now at 190 or at 200 or 390,000, I think now. 392 yesterday, and we're up another $1,000 today. So new highs for this account, new recent highs for this account. We're jamming in here. Jade Lizard here, nothing to do. This thing's at 45%, nothing to do on that one. We're just starting to get in to the trap, which is exciting on that. We've got 112 naked put and 112 naked put. These are sitting close to 80%. So I'm hoping, unless the market goes south fast and hard, these will be coming off soon. We've got another at the money 111. This thing's up 122%, and no reason to stop now and take this trade off unless we continue to climb too much higher, and then we could lose some of that profit. So we'll see. But we're about $130 more than the profit. We'll see. If the market keeps cranking higher, I might just take this one off, just so we don't lose some of that extra profit. So we sold it for $645, and we're already at $790 on that trade. We've got another at the money trade here. It's up 56%. Nothing to do there. sitting on an old naked put here from a 112 at 40%, nothing to do there. Plenty of vol hedges in this thing, plenty of 112 put debit spreads, a couple ratio hedges that are fine, nothing to do on any of that stuff. There, gold, we're sitting in this Jade Lizard, 42%, nothing to do on gold. NASDAQ, we're sitting here in an at the money 111 trade. This thing's up 25% in 3 days, nothing to do there. And in bonds, we've got a reverse Jade Lizard that's up 77%. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'll take this off at some point, but why do it yet? So we'll see. As long as we're in the trap, which we are. So if you take a look at this Jade Lizard, take a quick look, making sure you can see. Okay. Here's what we're like dead center of this Jade Lizard, which is like a strangle. And we're dead center. It's $1,000 in this area here. Why do anything now? Okay. Yeah, I could take profits at 77% and have a nice winner. But why? Why fuss yet? If it starts moving significantly one way or the other, all right, then we'll take it off so that we don't have any risk on one of the sides or the others. Okay. And then this is our two strangles. So this one's up 46%. This one's up 6%. Nothing to do there. So we're good. I don't see anything to add. We're sitting at 49% buying power on this. Let's take a look at a few other things in here. So the IBIT. So this is a trade in here on IBIT, which I did post. We did close the... And I got to move some things on my screen so I can see. I did post that I closed the covered call today at 81 cents. I took in $1.02, so we did make 42 bucks, but the underlying is up 160. So that's pretty nice. So this is an at the money trade. So let's put another one of these on. We're going to go out to next week. We're going to go 7 days. I'm going to go right at the money. You can, I mean, that's the money. I could go one or two strikes more if you want to give it a little room to the upside. Would you give it room to the upside is the question, or do you want to stick at the money? Well, what does the chart tell us? The chart says, today we're down a bit on this thing. It's been kind of meandering sideways for the most part. It's at the same price that it was not only 2 weeks ago, but same price it was 8 weeks ago. It's at the exact same price from 8 weeks ago. So to me, why not just keep doing what we're doing? And that's taking in, and I don't remember how many of these I had. I only bought two because if this thing drops, I want to add more. So I started with a smaller position in this thing, but we'll just do two. We'll take in another 268 bucks of extrinsic today. Okay. And boom, now we got that. So we took in another 268 bucks today. So we'll put that in. In fact, let's go do the work for those of you. And let's see who's got a question. Yeah, JJ. Yeah, it was up today. So when I took these off, we were up. So I'm kind of actually happy that we dropped a bit on it. So I took some things off when we were up a little bit on all my other accounts because I do have this trade in a couple different places. But let's go and add this trade, and I'm just going to walk you through me doing it. If you think it's boring, I apologize. But let's go through today. And we just put this trade on. Now you can see how I can always screw things up because I'm always cutting and pasting. But we're going to sell the 59 again. We just sold it for $1.34. On this one, so took in 268 on this particular trade, and it's about 260 bucks. So this is probably closer to minus 260 here. So there's that trade. On the closed, I already booked the closed call at 81 cents earlier. Okay, so now I just opened the new call. I left the old one here just so I could just type over it today. So we just added this particular trade in here. Okay, so we'll post this thing into Discord for you guys, but there's the next covered call. And if I look at my income poor man's covered call piece in here today on IBIT, I just opened the new one here at $1.34. So how's this trade working out since the 27th? It's only been 4 days. We paid 4,800 bucks for this thing. It's at 49.24 as of a second ago. So the longs are up 124. We've generated 42 bucks here, even though we didn't get our full extrinsic out of it, okay, because we moved higher. Okay, we still took a little bit. I would have been okay if we even lost because we've already made 124 on the longs, and we still made 42 here. So we're up 3.5% in 4 days. So not too bad. So this is how this whole thing works. All right. So we look at the total value of the trade, not just the covered calls. I know some of you guys are really struggling with this type of trade. I totally get it. If it's not for you, don't worry about it. Okay. I'm just sharing some different things that I can do to create some cash flow. I would have liked to have gone more contracts, but I wanted to scale in. If Bitcoin drops a bit more, then I will take this up to 4. And if it drops a bit more, I'll probably take it up to 6 leaps. At still the 40 strike. But yeah, we've made 166 bucks on $4,800 at cost. Now I'm not talking margin or anything else. Right. So on the actual cost, so I mean 4% in 4 days is not too shabby. We shoot for 3% a month. So that trade is a happy trade. All right, let's get back to here. Bam. Let's get back in. All right, so that IBIT is good. NVIDIA, okay, here's a great example of the NVIDIA trade. So we're up nicely on the longs, but we're losing money on the shorts because we're now in the money by $1.20. But there's still, if you look at this column here, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is, but there's still $398, $400 of extrinsic value left in this trade. Okay. But we sold it for 360, so that's 360 is what I'm looking for. And I don't care if this trade loses, because even though we've blown through the covered call, we've made on NVIDIA here $250 on this trade in one day. Okay, we're up 5% on the NVIDIA trade. If you just wanted to close it today, you would make 5%, okay, in one day, despite your covered calls losing money. Okay. But it's okay because any loss on the covered call is offset by the gains on the leap. So it really doesn't matter. All I have to do, though, is wait until 7 days have elapsed so that I can capture my 360 bucks. Okay. So that's all I got to do. Yeah, I will buy it back for a loss, but I won't buy it back until I've gotten almost all of my extrinsic value out of it. So yes, if I do that and leap gaps down the next, so I know you're trying to come up with if this then that crazy scenarios, and again, it's not crazy, it could happen, but if I'm not going to wait till the next day. So if I take that off today, okay, I'm going to put one on. In fact, today in some of these trades, you didn't see it, but I actually already sold the covered call while the other one is still on, because I know the other one's going to expire. So technically, I had extra covered calls on. But yeah, I mean that certainly is the process. That the risk you take is, yeah, what if you take the covered call off, and then it tanks the next day because your timing is just the worst ever, and then you got to put another. But you know what? I'll just put another covered call on at the money. You know what? And if it looks like it's going to keep tanking, I'll sell an in the money covered call, and I'll make even more money if it keeps falling. Okay. Because all I'm doing is generating extrinsic value. Do you think that eventually, in 196 days, do you think NVIDIA is going to be, above 70, number one? And will I have paid off the $53 that it cost me if I'm selling each week on NVIDIA, if I make 360 bucks a week, okay, for the next 7 weeks? Okay. Okay. So 7 weeks times the 360, the 360 bucks, whatever. So 3.6 times, that's more than 7 weeks. What are we at? We're 30 weeks. We have 30 weeks left in this trade. Okay. Okay, 28 weeks. There's 28 weeks left. If we make 3.6 a week times 28 weeks, we're going to generate $100 in premium, but we only paid 53. So if this thing drops, fine, because I'm going to make $100 in credit, in extrinsic credit. I'm going to take in $100. I only paid 53 for the leap in 28 weeks. I don't care where the underlying goes, up, down, sideways. Now, if it drops all the way to 70, I'll probably just convert that 70 leaps into shares and I'll take control of Nvidia at 70, and I'm going to have the greatest deal on planet Earth for the best company on planet Earth. So I'm totally fine with it. Again, I'm not doing these on crappy companies. And then lastly here, on NVIDIA, what was the question? On NVIDIA, why did I choose the August 15th? So I think I explained it in like one of the videos, but I went out to open this NVIDIA trade. So it's a good question. So I went out to open this NVIDIA trade and I went to a year. Okay. And I went down to roughly my 80 strike, somewhere around this 90. And frankly, the 90 plus the 45, when I added, I had these two together to see how much premium I'm paying. So it's the 90 strike. I'm going to pay 45 bucks to it. That's $135. Okay. For a stock that's at 123 and not doing great right now. It's not like a bad stock. It's a great stock that's just struggling a bit now. And I didn't want to pay like $15 in premium for that thing. So what I did was I looked for something that was a little shorter term to still get and I was actually able to get farther out at 70 here. 70 plus the 57 was 127. I only paid $4 in premium to buy that leap. Okay. And I sold a $3.60 uh, call against it. So technically, I basically paid for all of my premium in the first trade. Now, it can go down, certainly, but I'm still betting that we're going to stay above $123 here. But essentially in one trade, I paid off the premium. At the farther out strike, I thought, at 350 days, I just didn't like the premium I was paying. I thought it was too much for that trade, so I went a little shorter. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going anywhere from 6 months to a year, and I really don't care. I mean, you could go 3 months if you want to on these trades. It really doesn't matter. Okay, it's just a diagonal. So, however you want to trade that diagonal is fine with me. You can do it on 3 months and sell the weekly. You could do it on 3 months and sell the dailies if they have zero DTE. If we had SPY and you want to do this on SPY, I mean, heck, you can do the zero DTEs and sell. We were doing this already in the Lazy Trader account. It just didn't belong there, so I stopped. But technically, I could sell the leaps on SPY maybe 3 months out if you wanted to, and just sell the daily zero DTEs. Okay. If you don't want to do daily, you could go 3 days instead of 7 and just keep selling the at the monies. It really doesn't matter. Okay? Once you get comfortable with it, you'll be okay. Okay. It's just I know there's a giant mental hurdle for all of us to get through with these. And I've been trading poor man's covered calls for um, a long time, long, long time. So for maybe even older than some of you have been alive. I don't even know. But I've been trading a long time. And you know what? By screwing these up 900 times, I kind of stumbled into this as a pretty good income generating option because I always had that mindset of, well, you got to sell out of the money calls. Okay, you got to sell the 80 delta, you got to sell the out of the money calls, you got to sell them at 30 DTE, okay, and you don't want to get assigned, okay, but you want to let the appreciation. That was the mind. It was hard because that was my mindset didn't work that way, for a decade, okay, and then finally I started doing these trades and I was going closer to the money, and the calls were getting breached, but I would just wait till they expired, and I was making money on them. And if you stick with it long enough, what happens to most people is you call gets breached and you panic and you close the whole thing. Okay. You got to be able to stomach some losses on the leap, and you've got to track, like I'm tracking, you've got to track the entire trade, not just what you're making on the calls. Okay, I'm sorry. Um, let's keep going. Um, you if it goes in the money by the end of the day, you just close out by the end of the day. I mean, now if you're depends on what you're trading. If you're trading stocks, American style options on things, then yeah, you're gonna get a sign. So you got to close zero DTEs out by the end of the day. You have to take them off before the close. Okay. But you don't get a sign during while the market's open. So as long as you take it off before the close, you're fine. I don't take assignment on anything. All right, and then Tesla here, same thing. This was a 350-day call. This has 7 days left on it. I mean, look, we're at 413. I sold the 400 call on this, and the 400 call was not even at the money. It was slightly out of the money, so it blew past my 400. Oh, I'm down $900. So this is where everybody's freaking out that your covered call's down $900. Yeah, but look at my leap. It's up 1,900. So when you add those two together, I'm up $1,000 in one day. So in one day, Tesla has blown through my covered call. And you know what? I love it. I'm up $1,000. Okay. I'm up 5% in that trade alone. Don't tell Igor I bought a long call on Tesla as well yesterday and made $700 on it. So anyway, so there's a couple don't tell Igors in here, so it's all good. I did the same thing with Google, made $500 yesterday on it, but don't tell Igor. All right, let's move on. So there we go. We got this all cleaned up. We don't have anything more to do here. Let's look at the lazy trader account here. All right, we got AMD. All right, we've got uh, the 119 call. It's at 117. Okay. Oops, didn't mean to click on Bill. So we don't have to do anything with this because this is just going to fall off. Okay. Unless there's some, you know, idiot out there that wants to put it to us 2 points above, which I don't think that's going to happen. But so we can do two things. We can either take this off or just let it expire. And we've got 3 contracts of AMD. I'll go on it. Okay. And now they have earnings. So if I wanted to go 7 days out, I could do another out of the money on this thing, but I'm not going to because earnings is on February 4th. So we're just going to skip it. We're going to let this thing expire and roll off today. So this is going to roll off today. You know, stranger things have happened to people. I'm okay giving up 4 cents potentially to get out of this trade so some knucklehead doesn't fat finger assigning me 300 short shares of stock at 2 points above the current. Shouldn't happen, but we got our extrinsic out of this. We made $219. Totally fine with that. So if I looked at my lazy trader account on my AMD, we're going to be getting out of this trade today. I don't know if we'll get 4 cents. Maybe we will. On it. I'll put in the order to close it at 4 cents. But now on AMD, we paid 15,165. It's worth 13,491 because this thing just isn't going anywhere yet. Okay. We're down $1,600 on the longs, but after today, okay, we are going to have made 600 and oh, there we go. And we're out. Okay, so we've made now officially 630 on the shorts. Okay, so we're only down a fraction right now. We're going to wait for earnings. Okay, and this is your scenario. So I don't know who was that. JT, was it JT or someone else who says, if you sell it and wait for the next day. Yeah, JT. So JT, this is an example of this could happen. So we got earnings coming up next week. If this thing absolutely tanks, it's not going to be great, but I'm going to give you an idea of exactly how I'm going to manage it. Okay. So yes, this is down $1,700. It's not a big deal. We've already made 630 on the covered calls, so we've offset two-thirds of this already. And even if this drops more, it's fine. And we're only talking three contracts. If let's say it drops to 110 or something, what is the expected move on this? Expected move on this thing is 10 points. Okay. So if it falls, the expected move is it would fall to $1.06 to stay at the expected. Could it fall more than the expected move? Sure could, but the expected move on AMD is 10 points plus or minus on earnings from here. So yeah, if we lost another 10 points, it's not going to be fun, but I'm fine with that because we'll start selling covered calls back up. And every time we sell these covered calls, we're generating like 400 or 500 bucks every time. We'll pay for this in a couple weeks or a couple months at least. And if AMD turns around and moves higher, we'll be great. All right, so AMD is done. If I look at AMD, if I go to the, I'm just cleaning up the spreadsheet. I don't think I have to share all of these with you, but if you want to, I can. But I'm just going to put in here that we closed for 4 cents on 131. I'll tell you what, the nice thing on this AMD trade, and believe it or not, this is only 2 days. Okay, so this call, we only put this on 2 days ago. Right? Take a look at the overview. So you can see here on the right, when did we put on the 119 call? Well, we put it on the 28th. So technically 3 days. So we were only in this thing 3 days and we made 300 bucks. $219 in 2 days. And the first time in 8 days we made 411 bucks. So I like it. I like where we are. There you go. There's a nice closed winner on AMD, and now the risk is off. All right, I've only got 5 minutes because I've got another meeting coming up. Let's keep rocking. Google, don't do anything in that, just long. IBIT, this is at 61. Okay. And it's not going to come, it's just going to close today for the full winner. So we need to get a new trade on for next week. I'm going to go a little bit out of the money because this is not the same sort of income type trade. So I'm not doing at the money. I'm actually looking for some appreciation on this thing. So I'm going to go with the 60s for this trade because I like to go out of the money more because I'm looking for some appreciation on this. We'll see what happens. I don't want to go too far out of the money because Bitcoin's kind of sideways and not doing great here. So I'll keep it closer to the money than I normally would if it was like raging higher. But we got two contracts. Okay. And let's just do these. This is fine. Okay, good. All right. So again, here's my thing. This is today's. It's still on. It's going to expire. I'm not too worried about it. I can't even sell it. There's no value to it even with the markets right now. Now, if you wanted to sell it for if you get worried about it, you want to sell it for a penny, you can. So there, I wasted a penny. If you just want to get rid of the risk on it. So the IBIT is now gone. Closed. And that was a nice, I mean, we did pay a penny to get out, so could have just let it expire, would have been fine. But now we just made 400 bucks on these poor man's covered calls today. That's all good. We'll report that. And then we added a new one back in, so we're good. IWM, just a naked put. Meta, just a naked put. They're doing great. NVIDIA, we got naked put and Jade Lizard. Both of these are a little bit red, but not by much. QQQ, we got 112s and some naked puts. They're all doing great. In fact, this 112 is at 100% right now. The only reason this is on here is because maybe there's a chance to drop into the trap and we could get a little bit more juice out of here. But it's at 99% because the put debit spread got a little bit of zhuzh left in it here. So it's actually giving me some profit because the naked put's only at 80%. So that's making up for it. Uh, so I could take it off. I don't need the buying power. I'm not going to do anything right now on any of these. I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't feel like dealing with it today. SoFi, we got 7 days to go on this one. Nothing to do on SoFi. That one's down a bit. It's okay. SPY, we got a Jade Lizard here. It's got a ways to go. It's now in the money. I like it. Let's get the trap. We've got the leaps. They're getting closer, but they haven't come off. This put credit spread, I'd like to start to take some of these off at 50%. We're not quite there yet. They're more like leap put credit spreads. S-Vol's fine. I don't know why everybody doesn't like it. The thing just generates cash. It goes up and down. Who cares? Just let it generate cash. And TLT, we're at 21 days now on these three. I'm not loving this 92. Okay, it's down 3.5x right now. Ideally, I would probably like to roll this out. So if I rolled this out, I'd like to roll it out and potentially down. I don't know if I could roll it down to 90. Okay. I would have to roll it out about to 91 for in 60 days. It's not bad. I don't mind paying a little bit, so I pay a little bit for some safety, but I can pull it to 91, give myself 45 more days on this trade. We may do that. Okay, so we'll book the loss. The only reason I'm rolling is because my theory on these has not changed. Okay, uh, my theory still is that bonds maintain, they might drift higher or sideways. I'm okay with it. I took a little bit of risk off. I ate a little loss. I made some money today anyway on the covered calls, so I don't mind spending a little bit of cash to buy myself some time on that one. The 91 and the 90, maybe. Now, if we wanted to do something similar here, could I roll this one out? If I wanted to roll this down to maybe 90, okay, it would cost me, you know, $280 to drop it to the 90 strike and give me 49 more days. That's not bad either. Okay, we'll put that in. We'll see what happens. And then this 90, we're at 88. I don't think there's any reason to do anything here yet. So I'm just going to roll two of those and we'll be fine. TMF, I should be writing covered calls. I was kind of holding off, waiting to see what bonds are doing. But I think we could probably go back out and start writing covered calls again. I'd like to go longer than 7 days. Let's go 14 and let's go something higher like 43. I don't know. I'm not getting a lot of juice on this thing. So I think I'll just hold off and then TNA, we're fine. So nothing to do there. Everything is fine on these. And then the last one here is the small account. Okay. Small account. What do we got? What do we got cooking? Well, we got CMG, poor man's covered call. Uh, we're probably okay on this thing. Can we get out of, can we close it today for 3 cents? Maybe. I don't mind paying 3 cents just to take it off, but I want to sell another covered call on Chipotle about, let's go more like 14 days out here, and let's just go to like the 30 delta and sell that one. I got one share. Okay, we'll take $1.03. And we sold it. All right, so we've now added an extra covered call on Chipotle. We're going out 14 days. Normally, I'd probably go longer on these appreciation ones, but we'll just leave it at 14. IBIT, you can already see that this one's going to expire worthless today, so I didn't even close it. I just added the new one already. Okay, if you get freaked out on these, you can close them for a penny. Okay, and waste a penny, but it's just a penny. And then NVIDIA, I got 7 days left. So we're we're in great shape. So we're all good right now. I'm gonna wrap this thing up for you guys. Hopefully this was helpful to you, just to show you a little bit of everything that's going on. We're up on the day, but not up by a ton. ES is negative. It's a Friday. People don't want to get super long going into the weekend. I'm good. Our trades are in great shape. Accounts are in good shape. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys back in the Discord. Alrighty. Bye bye.